and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So Google has announced that the November core 2023 update has finally finished rolling out. This update has been running for the past 26 days, which I think is probably one of the longest running updates that Google has ever announced. But there was one I don't remember that had ran a little longer than this. But there has been a lot of changes with the algorithm. Fortunately, many websites were not hit. Now, there were websites hit. Many websites that were on the first page of Google are now kind of non-existent, and there's a reason for that, which I will discuss in this video. So there's a lot to unpack here, and unlike what Google tells you, there are major changes made whenever a core update is announced. Now, not everyone may see any changes from those updates. They might not be impacted as much from those updates, but Google is running updates almost every week, but those are minor updates, those are tweaks to the algorithm, and so Google doesn't think it's worth announcing those. And even moving forward, Google has said they're not going to announce many of their updates. So let's see what happens in that regard. But regarding the November update, I can tell you that there have been quite a few changes. And the first change has been that a lot of people have said that they're receiving foreign language traffic a lot more than they did. And I can second that because I have a few e-commerce sites that are getting loads and loads of traffic from India and China for absolutely no reason, even though those are not markets that we ship to. When I checked, it's also because our keywords are ranking 1 and 2, so at least the keywords that we're targeting are ranking 1 and 2 in those regions, but those are not where we ship or sell. So and we've only seen this after the good November core update was announced, and it's still that way. We're still doing brilliantly in the regions that we sell, but if you're seeing a lot of foreign language traffic or from foreign countries, and those are not your target audience, then probably take a look at if you're still ranking in your region. It's something we can't really do much about, and this is where I tell my clients, I can only do so much to help you rank in the regions you're trying to target, but if you're getting a lot of foreign traffic, that's okay, I guess. Traffic is a ranking algorithm, unlike what Google tells you, and if I'm going to make a video about Google's SGE patent. But according to the filings from what Google has revealed in their Google versus the US government, they have said that engagement definitely is a ranking factor. And I have a video about that. That's one of the older videos. I think made this a few days back. And if you get the increased engagement from foreign countries, I don't think that's going to be bad. But let's see, I'm keeping an eye on the situation. Now, the second change to the algorithm has been mainly in the way Google looks at internal links. Now, in the past, you could do a lot of generic internal anchor text like click here, go here, learn more, that kind of anchor text. Now, not a good idea to do a lot of these. I would say reduce it to like maybe 10% of your anchor text, and make sure that your anchor text is mostly variations of the keyword you're trying to target. And so if you're trying to target dog training, maybe also anchor text should be dog obedience training, how to make your dog more obedient, training your dog to listen to you, those kind of variations. So you can do the keyword research, find the variations, and use variations in your anchor text, especially when you're creating silos. And you can check out my older video about silos and how to create them, because one of my test websites that heavily uses these kind of anchor texts saw a pretty steep decline in its rankings. And then I had a client that was also heavily reliant on the learn more and learn this and these kind of anchor texts, and they were also hit pretty hard, even though the content is good and everything else on the on page is good. And so when we changed, our rankings improved. So you might want to take a second look at your anchor text ratios, maybe reduce your reliance on generic anchor text. The third thing that this algorithm has changed, overall ranking system. Now, in the past, Google has said that we want to surface hidden gems. Unfortunately, this update has not surfaced hidden gems. Now, the helpful content update, Google said we're going to try and surface hidden gems. For the core update, a lot of those hidden gems that supposedly surfaced kind of disappeared, and we're now seeing Reddit and Forbes and Quora ranking for a lot of those keywords that many of the informational sites were ranking for, but now they're on number 3 and 4, with Quora and Forbes and all of these websites being on number 1, 2, and 3 respectively. And so I think this is a bad change to the algorithm, because these websites don't need more traffic, and also the content of these sites is not great. So most people will not find the content helpful unless they want to engage in the discussion. At least these two websites do, except for Forbes, which publishes articles. Forbes has a very high authority. And so I think Google is going back to what it used to do, is like rank pages in terms of their authority. So more authority means higher rankings. It also means that you might think that sending more backlinks to your pages will help it rank. But it's also dangerous, because then you're just one update away from Google nailing your website. So I wouldn't advise you do that. I would advise that you probably start with looking at your internal linking. And the fourth and final thing here is personalization and filters. Now Google is going to roll out filters and personalization for people searching the internet, and that would affect your search rankings as a whole. A lot of people have been asking me if they could negatively affect them or adversely affect them, and yes, there is a good chance that it could. But the good thing is that if you build an audience, you have content that makes people come back to your website, then that would mean that it actually works in your advantage. The problem here is that if you don't run a forum, or you don't run some place where there's a lot of user-generated content, you don't have people coming back for more the way they do to those kinds of websites, and which is why you're seeing websites like Quora and Reddit do so well in SERPs after the November Core update. And so one thing you could do is add a forum to your website. Now, growing a forum is not an easy job. So this is also very niche dependent. I would say probably look into what's ranking right now in your niche for your keywords and see what they're doing. If it's Quora, then there's nothing really much you can do, because the algorithm is favoring them. On the e-commerce side, if you're running an e-commerce store, the good news is that you would probably have seen an uptick in your traffic, albeit some foreign language traffic or from other countries. That's all I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments below how the November Core update has hit your website. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.